Good morning everyone. In this session we are going to discuss about Ellingham diagram. Now this is the topic from metallurgy, which is in the general principles of isolation of metals. Now Ellingham diagram is generally used to find out the best reducing agent in the chemical reaction. Now this is the graphical representation between change in Gibbs free energy versus temperature. Okay, this is a brief introduction about Ellingham diagram. So according to the thermodynamics, we know that this equation is represented as delta G naught equal to delta H naught minus T delta S. So in this equation, we know that delta G naught is nothing but change in Gibbs free energy, and delta H naught is nothing but change in enthalpy. Now T is nothing but absolute temperature, and delta S naught is nothing but change in entropy. Now by using this equation, we have to calculate the best reducing agent which is suitable in the chemical reaction. Now, so in the chemical equation, delta G naught or change in Gibbs free energy is used to check the spontaneity of the chemical reaction. That means whether the reaction is feasible or not. That is easily identified by using the delta G naught. Here this is the chart we are having. When the value of delta G naught is less than 0, then automatically we will get the negative value. So when the value is negative, so the reaction is a spontaneous chemical reaction. Similarly, when the delta G naught value is equal to 0, then the reaction is in equilibrium condition, and when the value of delta G naught is greater than 0, that value is the positive value, and the reaction is non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, this is the brief introduction about the Ellingham diagram. So this is the graphical representation already you are observing here between the change in Gibbs free energy as well as the temperature. Now this is easy to find out the best reducing agent. Okay, just imagine there is the chemical reaction. So there is the metal which is in the form of a solid. When metal is reactive with oxygen, there is the formation of metal oxide. That is the normal chemical reaction. Now by plotting the graph between the change in Gibbs free energy, that is nothing but delta G F naught as well as temperature, then we will get this graph. So when we observe this graph is having three different parts. Here you are observing there is the curve which is at the middle of the graph is delta G naught. This is the curve delta G naught, and next one is below delta G naught curve. This part is considered as A part, and above delta G naught equal to 0, this part is called as B part. So there are three different parts which is in the Ellingham diagram. One part is delta G naught equal to 0, and another part is A, that is nothing but less than 0, and another one is above delta G naught, that is nothing but greater than 0. So the value of A should be negative value, and the value of B should be positive value. According to the chart which is available, when the value of delta G is negative, the reaction is spontaneous chemical reaction. When the value of delta G is positive, the reaction is non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Now, how can we say that whether the reaction is a spontaneous or a non-spontaneous chemical reaction? Here, when we observe part A, which is present below the delta G naught equal to 0. So, in this area, when the metal, say capital M, is reactive with oxygen or O2 to produce metal oxide. So, in the part A is the region where the, so at part A, when metal is reactive with oxygen to produce the metal oxide or MO, so at part A, the part A region is having less than 0 value, so the value of part A is completely negative, and finally the reaction is spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, this is about part A. And the same reaction is reversed automatically. We will get MO is give rise to M plus O2, so that is the reverse reaction. So because of having the reverse reaction, the delta G value is also changed to negative value to the positive value, and also spontaneous reaction to the non-spontaneous reaction. Okay, this is called as Ellington diagram. Okay, this is the graphical representation between Gibbs free energy as well as the temperature. So when the delta G naught value is negative value, the reaction is a spontaneous chemical reaction. When the delta G naught value is positive value, then the reaction is a non-spontaneous chemical reaction. Already we have discussed about that at part A. Next one, we have to proceed about part B. Okay, in part B, what is the value of delta G? According to the chart which is available with us, the value of delta G would be positive value, so automatically the reaction is a non-spontaneous chemical reaction. But when the same reaction is reversed automatically, MO is decomposed back to produce metal and oxygen, and finally the value of delta G would be negative value, and the reaction should be spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, this is about the theoretical representation of Ellington diagram. Okay, this is the one example we are having. So in this graph, there is the plotting between delta G F naught, that is change in Gibbs free energy, and T, that is nothing but absolute temperature. Now we are having three different types of compounds. One is silver oxide, and another one is mercury oxide, and next one is the zinc oxide. So when we observe the three kinds of the compounds, these three kinds of the compounds may not give the same graph. When we observe the silver oxide is decomposed in the presence of high temperature to produce silver and oxygen. Okay, this is the first compound. And when we observe the second compound, HgO, so in case of HgO is decomposed back to formation of Hg and also O2. And when we observe the zinc oxide, zinc is decomposed back to produce zinc and oxygen. So these are the three kinds of the reactions which are taking place at a particular metal. Now when we observe the Ag2O and HgO, Ag2O is produced at a temperature T1 and HgO is produced at a temperature T2. So as compared to the T3, that is nothing but zinc oxide, silver oxide and mercury oxide is require low temperature to decomposition process. So that's why we can observe the low temperature values, that is nothing but T1 and T2 value. But when we observe the zinc oxide, so zinc oxide is decomposed at a temperature T3. So the temperature of zinc oxide is more as compared to the decomposition of silver oxide as well as mercury oxide. So in order to convert zinc oxide into the zinc and oxygen, we have to produce high temperature. So in order to produce high temperature to the chemical reaction, we have to spend more expenditure. So finally the reaction would be more cost. So in order to reduce the cost of the reaction, and also in order to maintain the neutrality, then we have to use the best reducing agent. So the best reducing agent is nothing but coke. So the zinc oxide is decomposed by using the coke also. So in this reaction, zinc oxide is react with coke. So by the addition of coke to the zinc oxide is easily decomposed back to the formation of zinc and carbon monoxide. Here the coke is called as reducing agent. Okay, this is called as Ellingham diagram. Okay, if you require, then you can take the screenshot here. Now this is the first slide. Then you require, we have to get the screenshot here. We can clearly understood the theoretical representation of Ellingham diagram in an easy way. Okay, in the next session we are going to discuss about applications of Ellingham diagram. Thank you very much.